Hi guys, I just wanted to do a little quick chat on learning from the victors. And it's something that I have seen over these last few weeks where, and probably not even weeks, probably the last few months since the pandemic, where we're basically seeing where the black manosphere has grown tremendously. And that's good. That's fantastic that it has grown. I mean, Kevin Samuels has grown from 80,000 subscribers, tens of thousands of subscribers, to about 1.3 million. Fresh and Fit now are at 500,000, burgeoning to go towards 600,000. And you have a lot more guys, Abba and Preach, different people. They may not consider themselves Black Manosphere, but, they're adjacent. What's beautiful about this is there is an active debate going on. And with that active debate and with the fact that the black manosphere is growing, what's happening is that a lot of ideas are being challenged. And one of the things I think is the theme is to learn from the victors. When I read about, old Greece, men would argue in the marketplace, and through those arguments, theories would be tested. Different things would be developed because they were not just arguing to put down each other. They were arguing to see, to test these ideas and see if they made sense. One of the ideas I think is being sold right now is hedonism. And I think that this hedonism is really being sold by Fresh and Fit, where, you put yourself above everyone else, and, your own pleasure is beyond everyone else. And basically, women have to fight to basically, have that security from you, and you are the prize. And I think that mindset, borders, that's a regressive mindset. But you know what? I do think that these guys are smart, and I do think that their thoughts will evolve, because this, one of the main things is, I come from Jamaica, and I, originally, and one of the things you learn is when you focus a lot on pleasure, on your own self, and not building families, the nation will definitely descend. And we have seen this happen over and over in history. And one of the things is I wanted to move into now is the whole idea of Stoicism and being industrious, because that's what the winners have been doing for centuries. Those who basically figured out that in order for them to build this society, they had to practice self-control, and they had to figure out the things they could control, the things that they couldn't control, and they had to learn to work with others, and they had to learn some level of denying of self. And what that did basically was, you saw the Industrial Revolution, you saw all these different things, the invention of the gun, invention of machinery, all of these things. And that caused a people to conquer the world, basically. And for years, it has been, seen and has been adopted by different countries. And one of the countries I think a lot of people need to focus on is Singapore. Singapore, what's very important to us as Jamaicans for Singapore is that back in the 50s, Singapore and Jamaica had about the same per capita income. And Lee Kuan Yew came to Jamaica, and he was to be the Prime Minister of Singapore. And he came back and he said, he saw something and he said it. He said, if Jamaicans spent, a lot of their energies that they actually did in partying and relaxing and all of that stuff in actually doing industrious work, then we would progress. And, a lot of us did not really understand it. And I wasn't alive back then, but because this was said back in the 50s. And what he did, he went back to his own country, and they, in a disciplined way, built this country built the Singapore into what it is today. And when you look at that, you see where an industrious man, a stoic man, always beats the hedonistic man. And what I think the discussion right now is happening now is, with the black manosphere, there's a selfishness in there, a self-serving thing where you're saying, hey, women must, I am a high value man, and women must basically grovel to me. And that doesn't make much sense, And societies are built on the family, marriage, and you protect the children, you incubate the children. And we in the black community cannot really give good advice on marriage, because we're in a very a piss poor state as it relates to marriage. I mean, we're looking at a situation where 70% of women with children are unmarried. Now, we cannot keep this going. This is going to continue to break the community. And this is madness. If people are not promoting marriage and they're promoting more bachelor lifestyle, it's almost like, that old Einstein saying that you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So let's accept defeat. We failed at not getting people married. So we should all be focused on trying to get people in a state that they can get married and have children and incubate those children. I think that's the only rational thing to do. And so one of the big things is that I'm seeing within this the black manosphere is the ideas are being challenged, and the reaction to it being challenged is going to be important, because if we react by saying we know it all, then we succumb to pride and all of that stuff, and not understanding that, listen, in a very integrated society, it's in everyone's interest that your neighbor actually can feed himself and is self-sufficient. And I think the neighbors are saying, hey, black manosphere, listen, that idea that you have, nonsense. Look at how it has worked since for the last 500 years. Why would you invent something which has never worked anywhere before? All it does is it's self-serving. It may get you clicks and views, and some hapless young people may think that it works, but it's nonsensical. All this pickup artist stuff, all this average at best stuff, it doesn't work in the real world. In the real world, a man says, hey, I need to build up myself, build up my wealth, build a career, and then I need to look on legacy. And legacy comes through getting married to a woman, and you incubate children until they leave university, and they can carry on your name and carry on the traditions of the family, right? That's how legacy normally is. And legacy, that does not seem to be what is being promoted. I mean, what's being promoted in some areas is you need to have women come and grovel to you or lower their standards to you. That's nonsensical. Like, why should women lower their standards? I mean, I think women should keep their standards high, because that gives men a challenge to rise to those standards. And the next thing that I'm getting from the out of the corner is, yes, get your money game up, but once you do that, then now you date without a purpose. The purpose is to enjoy yourself, a hedonistic way. That's going to lead to trouble. And so I think that it's time for us to understand that marriage is key, and that we need honest men who are stoic, who can control their emotions. And that's how we will progress as a people. But we will not progress as a people if we continue these unproven, nonsensical ideas. It's almost as if the wheel was created and it's right there, it's functioning, and we're sitting down and saying, hey, we're not even going to use the wheel. We're going to get a piece of wood, and we're going to figure out a new design that will that we think is better. And I just think that that's the wrong way to go. So happy to have these debates happen. And I think that this can only be beneficial to the black manosphere. And I think that as people start to evaluate these ideas, and ideas get the light of day, I think the intelligentsia within the manosphere will start to see, a lot of, they have to separate what is entertainment and what is sustainable advice. And I think that the entertainment side of it, it's fun. It's fun to see these beautiful women come onto these platforms and all that stuff. But that's not going to sustain people. There has to be, a traditional values, and through those traditional values, building families, building wealth and careers, and building a legacy. I think that that's the important thing. Thank you, guys.